What's up, everybody? It's Amon-Rellik, the God Slayer. Amon-Rellik Gaming. We are here in a new video. Today, we're going to be talking about Cyberpunk 2077 and the patch 1.5 update that just came out. They posted this on the 15th, 2022. So let's see exactly what they got going for us here. All right. Because the patch is actually out now, so we're going to go ahead and go through it. Additional content. Apartments can be, let's highlight this right here. There you go. Apartments can be rented with a one-time fee when encountered in Night City or through the Easy Estates website when accessed through the computer in V's Mega Building H10 apartment. They become available after completing the Playing for Time quest. It's possible to rent all apartments at the same time. All apartments are share the same stash. We got the Northside Watson apartment, the Japantown Westbrook, the Glen Haywood, and the Corporal Plaza City Center. That one right there probably looks dope as hell. The one in Corporal Plaza. I know Corporal Plaza always looks cool as shit. Alright, what's they say? Additionally, you can now customize the starting apartment in Mega Building H10 with the Easy Estates website. Now that's cool that you can customize the main one. I mean, I would have liked if we could customize all of these, but I can understand if you know they could right now only want to focus on customizing one apartment, considering the list of changes they have here. So I can kind of understand that. And the apartments now give you buffs, guys. This is what's part that's probably pretty cool. All right, let's get into this. Some interactions with the apartments provide a temporary buff. Taking a shower applies the refresh buff status for an hour. Refresh allows you to regenerate health during combat. Health will regenerate on its own up to 60% of the maximum threshold. If you possess the regeneration perk, this increases in combat health regen by 20% and your health regen threshold by 20. So you already know regeneration is going to probably be a must perk to get. That's going to probably be a meta perk to have. And what I do like about this is that because you only get it for an hour, it kind of makes you break up the monotony of just forever running around and never going back to your apartment for anything for real. It kind of gives you a reason to have to go back to your apartment. So like for instance, if you're about to do a big mission, or if you're about to do a major, if you're about to do like some major fights, or let's say you just decide, you know what, I'm about to go ahead and run a couple of gigs or whatnot, you can run back to your apartment, go to bed or take a shower, and things of that nature, or like it says here, go to sleep and you get a buff as well, and then have those buffs ready for when you run out. Go to sleep regenerates health and applies the rested status for 1 hour. Rested status, you gain 20% skill EXP. So yeah, definitely. See that's another thing, because they targeted EXP as well specifically. Oh yeah, you're not gonna want to do anything outside of going to bed every hour. You're gonna want to do that shit every hour. Brew coffee applies the energized status for 1 hour, and energized basically gives you 25% max stamina and 30% stamina regen. Again, another really good one. Another really good one. Hopefully I'm not too loud for you guys. This mic can be pretty loud. Let's try it. There you go. Alright. Appearance customization. You can now tweak certain features of your appearance, such as hair, makeup, piercings, and etc. when using the mirror at your apartments and safe houses. It's free and you can do this as often as you like. Character creation also includes more makeup and more hair options. That's the reason why too, guys, I'm actually going to restart the game. I'm going to restart the game now that they've done this, because I want to give this game a fresh start again. I haven't gotten too far into the game the first time anyway, and so I want to give this game a fresh new start and give the game another fresh chance to show me what it's got. What's new at Wilson's? You can check out new items in Wilkins' Second Amendment store in the Mega Building while exploring Night City. 2 new weapons: the Dara Polytechnic Umbra, it's a power assault rifle, and the Budget Arms Guillotine, a power submachine gun. Alright. 4 new weapon scopes. Tang Jiao Ju long scope. Tsunamigaki sniper scope. Arasaka Kanasugu short scope, and the handyman short scope. New type of weapon attachments, muzzle brakes. 10 muzzle brakes, 5 for guns. Those are the guns, 5 for assault and machine guns. Oh, okay. New poses in photo mode. We added a number of new poses in the photo mode, including the poses for Johnny Silverhand, but only when you're playing the flashbacks as Johnny. Alright, cool. Next, we've got Living City. Alright. Combat AI. We've got multiple fixes and improvements to NPC melee and ranged combat AI and reactions, including taking cover, positioning, reloading, equipping weapons, dodging, blocking, and many others. Multiple improvements to dismemberment triggers, hit reactions, and death animations, adding greater impact to ranged and melee combat. Enemies are now much better at blocking and evading the Krenzical attacks. Okay, cool. I know you could just run up and just melee the hell out of them, and they wouldn't so much as react to the actual swinging of your attacks a lot. The heavier the weapon, the easier it is to hit. The opposite is true for evading. Further, the diversification of melee and ranged combat behaviors for different factions: reckless, aggressive, balanced, defensive, and cautious. Followers now contribute more in combat, but can be defeated and temporarily disabled if they receive enough punishment. Numerous fixes and balance changes to the Netrunner combat. Okay, because there were certain points in times and some of the fights that you did that you would get hit by a Netrunner. A Netrunner would be a part of their crew, and as much as they were say that, you know, find the Netrunner and kill them, sometimes it was a little difficult to find which one of them was the Netrunner in the middle of combat. I mean, you could, you know, again, stop combat and kind of like, you know, do your little thing where you would, you know, go into your little computerized eyeballs and get to scanning people. But it was weird because it broke combat up. You know, it broke combat up a lot whenever that would happen. And you really needed to do it because, like, the Netrunner attacks could, like, really fuck you up. At least in early game. Alright, crowd improvements. Aggressive crowd behavior. Certain NPC archetypes can and will enter combat with the player when provoked by aiming, shooting, or fighting. Due to some technical challenges, this change is not available on the previous generation of consoles. So you guys probably won't be getting this until maybe later on, guys. The previous console owners, you might not be getting it until a little later on. Time skips affect the state of NPCs, as well as reset the state of some of the devices, environments, and certain scenes. Improved crowd reactions, pathfinding, and despawning. Okay, so we got crowd reactions, because I know sometimes the crowd would just like randomly go nuts for no reason. You'll have certain cars that'll just like run people over. Like I could see if it was because there was an actual police chase going on, or, you know, if they wanted to simulate crime happening in the streets other than with what you're doing. But it really wasn't that. It was just, you know, you would come outside, you would come down to the street, and then just out of random, some van or some van or some station wagon just come out of nowhere and get to smacking like 3 or 4 people trying to go where it wants to go. So like pathfinding and things of that nature was like crazy, and like the crowds didn't really react to you as much as you would want them to, what you would think if you wanted to be a, you know, feel like a real person in the world. Drive model. All right, let's get into the driving. Oh man, I've always, be it that I'm a part-time, I just call me a part-time car enthusiast. I do heavily scrutinize driving in games when they allow you to drive, or when driving is one of the main ways you get around. I scrutinized it a lot about in GTA for a while, but whew, it was rough in Cyberpunk. All right, let's see what they say. Introducing Our all new burnout mode. Hold the gas and brake to engage, steer to rotate. The old system only allowed rotating on the spot. Now try modulating the inputs to see what you can do. Try brake stands, donuts, drifts, or heat up the tires to do a drag race style launch with a high grip boost. The system now works at higher speeds, so you can hit the brake with gas applied on corner entry to cause oversteer on most cars. Keyboard users can optionally use new standard bindings, secondary bindings on arrow keys. Some keyboards ignore the third key press just when just using the WASD. But gamepads allow the most control of the system, as gamepads in general provide the driving experience preferred by the vast majority of players. Okay. New braking system produces consistent performance from front to rear across all speeds. ABS simulation added. All vehicles' brakes have been tuned to the new model. Engine simulation improved. Clutch simulation added. What? These changes improve resistance forces from the engine when shifting. What? Helping to remove unwanted wheel spin events. Gearbox simulation improved. Much improved downshifting behavior. Oh, that's great. Transmission now realistically downshifts and has smarter shift logic to keep the engine in its sweet spot. Forward reverse shifting has been totally redone, allowing for J turns. Wow. Okay. See. Now they're actually fine tuning the driving, like really fine tuning the driving. Okay. Tune improvements to various cars. Well, motorcycle improved. All of the above improvements help to make them more stable. Additionally, steering model improvements have been added and they have been retuned. Tune improvements to various cars. The Quadro Type 66, all models, especially the Avenger. Mizutani Shion, especially the MZ2. Herrera Outlaw, Major Pass, and Base My all had steering improvements implemented and more. Added adjustments to first-person perspective to all vehicles that needed it. In addition, Nomad vehicles with Crystal Dome technology now digitally omit objects obscuring the view. Okay, that's pretty cool. Vehicle traffic. Oh boy. Visual improvement to traffic movement, turning and suspension, panic reaction to danger. Traffic now has the ability to drive away in panic from danger. NPC passengers can now die from car crashes. Reaction to fender benders. Vehicles now have a wider range of reactions to being bumped into, and will recover and return to traffic more smoothly. Okay, yeah, because you could accidentally just bump into somebody, and they'll just and the AI will just go wonk after that. So yeah, that's another one. That's another good one. Because again, you tend to just when you tend to drive in games like that, like Grand Theft Auto and games like this, you just be running into shit. You don't really be caring about driving, at peak levels of performance. All right, what we got here? Gameplay balance. Gameplay balance. Various changes relating to the economy, including increasing rewards from jobs and open world activities, and decreasing prices for vehicles and Cyberware. That's good. The Cyberware options, the money for them, but some of them could get stupid. Rebalanced and improved functionality of clothing mods. Adjust the amount of modification slots available on clothing mods. Categorize the mods to fit only specific clothing types. As a result, all equipped mods were removed back to your inventory. Go to the inventory screen to re-equip them in accordance with the new rules. Alright. So you don't lose them. They just put them all back into your inventory. The easy game difficulty is now moderately more challenging. Introduce 2 new stats replacing evasion: mitigation chance and mitigation strength. Mitigation chance determines how often the player has a chance to reduce incoming damage. Mitigation strength determines the percentage by which damage is reduced. It is 50% by default. Okay. Components that used to increase evasion now affect mitigation. For example, the reflex attribute, perks such as Mongoose, Vanishing Point, Human Shield, some clothing mods, and Cyberware, and more. Rebalance damage over time effects, generally reducing primary damage effects such as burning, bleeding, and poison. I ain't gonna lie, cause the dots in the game were strong. Reduced chance to disrupt the trajectory of smart bullets by Tiger Claw's glowing tattoos ability. Added a quieter way to escape the NCPD when the heat is on. Instead of fleeing a certain distance from the most recent crime scene, V can opt to hide within the search area, although it will take longer for the police to stop looking. Okay, yeah, because I remember in the beginning you just had to run. I mean, I hope they got rid of that teleporting thing where the cops would just teleport to wherever you were. So I hope they did that in order to facilitate that actually hiding mechanic. Alright. Let's see here. Here we go. Cyberware. It's now possible to sell unused cyberware at the Ripper Dock. Yes! Yes! Cooldown duration is now properly described in the tooltip of Bloodpump's Cyberware. Made it possible to interrupt the revealing position hack by damaging the netrunner or by having immunity from self-ice cyberware. Okay. Activating Berserk will now double stamina instead of granting an infinite amount. Tranquilizer rounds from the projection launch system no longer affect non-human NPCs. Oh, yeah, I think you could do that shit to fucking machines and shit too, I think. Alright, reduce the ricochet number of the legendary ballistic coprocessor to 1, but grants a 50% bonus to ricochet damage. Trajectory generator Kuroshi Optics mod has been changed to threat analysis and now grants a 2% mitigation chance. Mitigation grants a chance to reduce the incoming damage indicated by mitigation strength. Okay. Increased duration of optical camo cyberware for V from 5, 10 to 15 to 10, 15 to 15 per rarity level. Added the optical camo ability for some NPCs. Ooh. Even with optical camo active, the player will now be visible while grappling an enemy. Okay. Fix an issue where it wasn't possible to equip some cyberware mods simultaneously. Okay, because I knew there was a time where you couldn't well, I don't think that some mods can be stacked anyway, but I don't think that certain. Yeah, I know there was one point in time where you couldn't put a bunch of them on at the same time, which was weird. Combat. Numerous optimizations to combat AI resulting in an overall improved combat experience. Numerous fixes and improvements were made to reduce interruptions and smoothen NPC animations in combat, including attack, death, equip weapon, cover, hit reaction, reload, block, and dodge animations. You can expect more consistent feeling of impact and crowd control from weapons, as well as more spectacular visuals. Enemies will now correctly reposition to more tactically advantageous positions. That's good, because sometimes enemies will just straight up be having their asses hanging out of cover, and sometimes their heads be hanging out of cover, and in this game where there's percentage based damage, where if you hit the head, you do you do headshot damage different to chest damage and stuff. Like that could be really exploited. So like if hopefully they've made that as well a part of this whole change. Increased followers shooting accuracy. That's good too, because followers sometimes it's almost as they might as well just be shooting straight up in the air. Reduce explosive damage dealt to the player. Reduced explosion damage dealt to the player. Yes! Oh my god, do one good grenade. You could be doing everything. You could be doing all your good shit, right? You running around sliding, getting behind stuff. You know, you over here calculating, doing your hacking. Everything's going right for you in the fight. Now, one little grenade, ding, 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 boom, put you in the red. Put you in near death status that quick. And one grenade, like, and at that point, you having to run and shoot up, suck all this stuff up and shoot up. Like, you're doing all kinds of stuff trying to get your shit back. Like, it was amazing how lethal explosion. I mean, it can be realistic in that sense, but I can understand why explosion damage was also a little too tuned up, especially if you weren't getting directly hit by a grenade and you just might have got like the side, like the off impact of it. It would still be like lethal to you, so I can understand that. Fixed cases where NPCs from the same group or faction didn't join combat when they witnessed their comrades fighting. So that was weird. Fixed an issue where NPCs didn't display a proper hit reaction when hit with a grenade upon entering combat. Enemy shotgunners will now attempt to keep a closer distance to the player during combat. Yeah, because shotguns fall off real bad after a certain distance. Added some visual effects to the combat stems used by enemies. Enemies equipped with combat stems will use them only when their health is below 30%, reducing their overall stimulant usage. Okay, yeah, because I know sometimes they'll use that shit as soon as they enter combat. And, yeah, so I see what they mean by that. Increased visual complexity of enemy combat behavior in low frame rate mode. All right, that's good for people who are playing on lower frame rates. That's dope, helping them out a little bit because I know the game can be taxing. I know it can be visually taxing. Fixed an issue when combat mode was triggered while roaming. I haven't run into that too much, I don't think. Fixed an issue where the player could be knocked down by a hammer attack despite the weapon not reaching them. Okay, I've never been privy to this, but this reminds me of just how retarded hammers are in Halo. And any nerf to a hammer, I'm happy about right now. Significantly sped up switching between melee and ranged weapons for NPCs that can use both. Ah, okay. Quick hacking. Oh man, they went down the board here, huh? Quick hacking. It's no longer possible to apply the cyber psychosis quick hacks on cyber psychos. Ah, okay, because they're already fucking psychos, so there's no need to. Yeah, okay. Fixed an issue where deactivating a camera with the quick hack wouldn't interrupt any enemy quick hack upload when the camera in question was used as a connection proxy. Ah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because the enemies could still quick hack. Okay. Fixed case where a hacked status effect could remain on V permanently, preventing netrunners from hacking V again. Huh. That was an exploit I've never run into. Fixed an issue where in some cases the whistle quick hack didn't cause NPCs to approach V's position. Okay. Items and devices. Bonus items found in stash. 2 DLC jackets. Plus 4 registration reward items. Have new functionality. From now on, these items will increase their rarity after performing a certain amount of upgrades. Adding a base crafting spec for each item, rare quality. The player's list of available crafting specs on existing saves will be properly updated to accommodate this change. It is now possible to turn devices on and off while carrying a body. Fix an issue where elevator door animations did something It's sometimes not displayed properly, causing the player to see beyond world boundaries. Okay. NPCs. Woo, here we go. Lowered the health of the opponents and beat on the brat, except for the twins. They can now block and or evade attacks, so their difficulty is based more on skill. Woodman now prefers using the same Ajax rifle that he drops as loot. He was also demoted from a boss to a standard enemy. Fixed NPC behavior during Sasquatch, Oda, Adam Smasher, Royce, and Beat on the Bat boss fights. Okay. Fixed an issue where enemy NPCs couldn't break V's guard in melee fights. Fixed clipping in V's and NPCs aerial takedowns. Spin and kick melee attacks are now allowed only on fast, agile enemy archetypes. Cold blood experience will no longer be awarded when dispatching enemies while having no cold blood effect active. The amount of cold blood experience granted for dispatching enemies increases the amount of active cold blood stats. Fix clipping when grappling enemies from the crouch position. Enemy shotgunners now deal more damage. Ooh. Yeah, buddy. That means that you can't just run up on shotgunners no more with your Mantis blades, boy. Enemies are less likely to attack V while V is performing a finisher. Increase damage dealt by sniper NPCs. Woo! That's gonna be ugly. Snipers will now be able to shoot when backing away from their target. Oh gosh. Disable tripping over bodies for V's companions. Rebalanced NPC stamina. NPCs crushed by a vehicle that are unable to recover will die after some time. Fix V's death animations that play while grappling an NPC. Fix an issue where security, bouncers, and police NPCs could have a bounty on them. Fixed some instances of NPCs T-posing. Fixed an issue where NPCs with the ability to apply status effects weren't able to do so. Added a 15% health debuff for enemies that have the Kerenzikov ability to compensate for more successful dodging. Okay, so they didn't say too much about the spawning and random spawning of the police on you, but we'll just leave it at that for the moment, for the time being. Maybe we'll get to that later. Perks. Rebalance various perks and move some of them in the skill tree. For example, all the perk points you spent. As a result, all the perk points you spent were reset. Go to the perks screen to reassign your perks for free. Redesign the following perks: Blood Swell, Human Shield, Epimorphosis, Cold Blood, Coldest Blood, Cutthroat. Added new perks, replacing some older ones. Stronger Together increases damage you deal while carrying a body. Change to Tenacious V. Getting hit does not interrupt health regeneration. That might be a good perk as well. Tenacious V. Unbreakable increases max stack amount of cold blood by 1. Change to Easy Out. While cold blood is active, increases weapon range damage by 10%. Level 1, 20. Level 2, by 10%. Level 1 or 20 for level 2 to enemies within 5 meters of you. So that'll probably be good for like if you did like a quick assassination on somebody, but then somebody found out and saw you, and you immediately get into a shooting If the person, like, if usually the people who saw you were within 5 meters, you'll do extra damage to them, which would be cool because you can take out the people who are like basically closest to you quickly. You know, which gives you some kind of breathing room. But that balance is pretty nice. I mean, that's more of a niche thing in the sense that, you know, unless, you know, it's more of like a buff for whenever you get caught, which is fine, I guess. You know, not everybody's going to be super cool at, you know, super good at stealth, especially in a game like this one. Commando, you cannot be detected underwater, changes to looking sharp. Headshots with throwing knives apply bleeding to the target. Oh, okay. Silent finisher, enemies with less than 15% health are defeated instantly when attacked with a knife, changes to juggler. When you defeat an enemy or land a crit hit with a throwing knife, you will regain all knives currently on cooldown. Oh, cool. Okay. So that's if you want to play like a fucking ninja or something like that. You want to throwing daggers and throwing ninja stars and shit. Due to the above, due to the above mentioned changes in perks, we renamed the stealth tree to ninjutsu in order to better reflect the perks it contains. I knew it. I was like, I said ninja. I didn't even look at this. I was like, yeah, this is all ninja. That's what it looks like. Cool. Made the bonus dynamic. The bonus is dynamic for 200% efficiency. Field technician and cutting edge. They are now applied to already crafted weapons and clothes. Respecing perks remove the bonuses correctly. Alright. Player mechanics. B is now able to vault, climb, jump, sprint through glass that has been fractured. Huh. Fix an issue where disposing a body into a crate would move B into walls or out of bounds. Vehicles. Fix an issue where when summoned summoned vehicles could spawn within each other, resulting in either shattering to pieces or being launched into the air. Fixed an issue where hijacking a car with a hostile NPC inside caused them to clip through the roof and remain inside the vehicle. Okay. Fix an issue where vehicles could be frozen in the air after loading a save. Now they are just regular boring cars that fall down. Weapons. We worked the throwing knives. We saw that in that previous thing up there. But it says that knives are not lost after each throw, but automatically return to these hands after a set cooldown, dependent on knife rarity. It's also possible to pick up throwing knives resetting the cooldown. Cool. The Stinger iconic knife now scales properly to V's level when obtained. Sped up smart gun projectiles on different weapons of the same value as the Kang Tao G58 beyond for a better feeling of impact and speed. Increased silence gunshot sound range from 3 to 8. Okay, there we go. The stamina cost reduction while attacking stat on melee weapons now works correctly. Crouch, cold shoulder, and Pax weapon mods will increase weapon damage by percentage value. Crunch, shoulder, by percentage value. The level requirement of melee weapons will now increase with each upgrade. No, the level of upgraded melee weapons will be adjusted as a result of this change. The equipped weapons which exceed the level requirement can continue to be used, but if unequipped, will have to wait until the required level to be used again. The DR5 Nova obtained during the Stadium Love quest has stats properly balanced to V's level. The Crusher is no longer a viable weapon to use during the shooting competition in the Shoot to Thrill quest. And added aim assist to the bottles in Cassidy's challenge, and we gotta live together to make it easier to beat with the gamepad. Cool. And next we go into UI. All right, now we're ending up near the. Looks like we're near the middle of this thing, or near the end. I'm gonna try to be a little faster now in terms of that. I really wanted to be specific with all of these so that we could because a lot of that was like really big. Now the UI stuff, I believe this is just more of reiterating some of the stuff at the top, and then of course just quality of life stuff. So what we'll do here is we'll just briefly go through some of the points. All right, and I'll highlight it so you can pause it and read it as you go. But name of the vehicle will be shown in the HUD when getting in. Cool. What's this? Resizing icons and adding tooltips and filters. Good. Some things for missions. Fix an issue where the fast travel destination area appeared before the loading screen. No more spoilers, Chumba. Cool. Fix an issue where the game could freeze if a shard was read directly into the loot container and immediately closed afterwards. Okay. Cool. Okay. Remember, just keep an eye on some of this stuff. Quests. Now this one I'm not going to really go into because these are all more likely quest specific. But I did like this. Enhance Night City nightlife by making music in clubs a bit louder. Yeah, cause some of the music in the clubs that should be hidden. It be hitting hard too, but when you're inside, it be hitting hard as fuck. When you're outside, you don't hear it for real. Put some other good ones here. Players are now able to reject non-essential holocalls. There will be a prompt on the screen allowing them to accept or reject a holocall. If they reject the call, they will receive a text message instead. Very good, because the holocalls are just they can get rough when people just keep calling you and calling you and calling you. Like, leave me alone. Extended romances with Pan Am, Carrie, River, and Judy by adding new messages and interactions. Okay, so there's longer romances with these. Very good. I'm glad I caught that here. Very good. Added a few secrets to be in Night City to be discovered by players. Due to some technical challenges, this change is not available for the previous generational console. That's another one you guys are gonna be missing out on, at least for now. Hopefully they'll fix that up for you guys later. What we got here? Okay, these are all just quest specific quests here, changes here. All right, cool. Open world. Basically for all the gigs, assault and progresses and stuff. Completing all the gigs for a fixer will earn you a special reward. Okay, to see the progress of your standing with the fixer, with the icon on the map, and click and check the completed gigs. Okay, so now you have an actual reason to complete all the damn gigs for real. All right. V now has standing with fixers throughout the city. New fixer gigs will appear gradually in sets as your standing increases, and a fixer will offer you another set of gigs only after the previous set is completed in a given district. Cool. Alright, so now the questing doesn't seem so broken off and so alien from the rest of the game. Graphics, audio, animation, cinematic design. Improved water appearance and added water interactions, ripples, and flash effects will be produced during various events, like object collisions and from gunfire. Improved rain visuals on vehicle windows. Raindrops are no longer afraid of falling. Added neon rims for bikes. You can switch them on and off with the E key or by pressing the left stick on the gamepad. What? Tron style, baby. Improved visuals on the optical camo Cyberware. If Johnny had this Cyberware in 2023, he could have just quietly dropped the mini nuke. What? Fix an issue where various subtitles in Johnny's lines to get stuck on the screen. Fix a number of audio visuals flying through buildings. AVs flying through buildings. Environment and levels. Improve the weather system so that its state change in more of a logical order and when certain conditions are met. Drastically reduce the amount of loot lying around as a part of an effort to allow players more breathing room to experience quest scenes and the world itself. That is a welcome change in a weird way, because I know you might be thinking, well, less loot, that's horrible. The kind of loot that's just be like all over the place can be rough. Like, for instance, there's a gun that you can get in one of the levels. It's the gun of Arasaka's son, and it's a dope looking gun. But in order to get it, like, you have to be specifically, like, there's a specific point in time in which you have to get that gun, or else you'll never see it again. Or unless you can glitch your way back into Arasaka's building, because you don't get to get back into that building for real anymore. So it's like, it kind of restricted your ability to just experience the quest lines in the scenes, because you were so radically trying to figure or get to that loot that you just couldn't get anywhere else. So I do like that. All right, stability and performance. All right, we have HDD mode now has an auto detection option. When enabled, it automatically auto detects which drive the game is installed on, and if necessary, boosts data loading and crowd activity at the expense of crowd variety. Extra loadings. Okay, so we got some of that going on. Good. We got some AMD Fidelity FX going on. Fixing multiple fixes and improvements related to stability and optimization. Very good on that. PC specific. What we got here? Added a benchmark mode. Cool. Added a toggle walking option when playing on the keyboard. Cool. Enable transparent ray tracing reflections on glossy coating on some cars. A variable rate shading. This feature boosts rendering performance and visual quality by varying the shading rate of different regions of the game. And what is this here? Fix an issue with block resolutions, which block resolution scaling on AMD cards when ray tracing was enabled. Okay, that's cool. Discontinued support for the NVIDIA 700 series graphics cards. Due to the end of support for graphics drivers, we decided to change the minimum system requirements to the GeForce 9070. Okay, so you're gonna have a GeForce 9070, guys, in order to, well, that's the minimum they require. The game won't necessarily stop functioning on said cards. However, we are no longer testing the game on the 700 series graphics cards. Okay. That's a good thing to let us know. Windows 7 future support. Due to technical limitations on non-native DirectX 12 implementation on Windows 7 and the end of or limited support for drivers, game updates will not be supporting Windows 7 after June 15, 2022. If updated with patches published after that time, the game may stop working on this operating system. Alright guys, this means if you gotta go on Windows 10, go get Windows 10, quit playing. You might as well upgrade if you want to play this game now, because it's looking like, well, I mean, we already knew that Windows 7 wasn't going to get receive any more support from Microsoft, so it would just make sense that a lot of the games will probably move their support from that as well. Hey tunes, remember that these are just the highlights. There's a lot of more improvements and fixes in this patch, so go and check them out in the game. All right, that, guys, marks the end of the 1.5 patch notes, at least what they told us. And yeah, I'm definitely finna go see what's going on in the game now. I'm starting completely over, baby, and I'm gonna make sure that I title my videos with it saying post 1.5 patch, so that we can actually understand that, you know, this is where the game is being played now. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna get back in. It's been a long time since I played for Cyberpunk, so you know, it's gonna be a somewhat fresh experience for me, and I can't wait to get back in it. I'm Amon-Rellik the Godslayer, Amon-Rellik Gaming. Thanks guys for watching. I know this has been a long one, but it's a lot of information that was being brought to us. We out.